Hey there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. I'm talking today about trust and patience. As always, take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. I spend a great deal of my time sitting with my spirit council. I go into council meetings or staff meetings with a lot of questions and also to go in and do a lot of listening. And one thing that Spirit has been talking to me a lot about over the last year has been about trust and being very patient with ourselves when we go through our learning and through our growth. Now, one thing that us living people want is right now. I want it now. I want it now. And we often don't trust that it's either not meant to happen now or it's not for our highest good when we ask. Because for the most part, when we ask the universe for something or when we ask our spirit guides for something, we're asking for our highest good. Most people don't go to spirit and say, this is really bad for me, but I want it. We usually go in with wanting something that is going to serve us well. And when we go into asking that way, which is how we're supposed to ask, we want something that's going to help us. When we go into with asking for something for our highest good, the patience and the trust that spirit is going to give it to us when it is meant to come is a big one, because we in the physical world are so time based. I want it now. I want a relationship now. I want a new job now. I want it now. I want it now. And we don't lean into it might not be best for me to have that relationship or that new job now. It might not be best for me to do that now. And we have to kind of lean in a little bit more that our spirit guides, when we ask for something that's best for us, that maybe, just maybe, they know what they're doing when there's a pause. The other thing is sometimes we're not ready for it. And I'm going to use a fairly recent example for myself to kind of give you, with myself, to kind of give you an idea of what they mean by that. So, well before the pandemic, I started looking for some space. I said to Spirit, let's open up a healing center. Let's expand. Let's do this. And I started looking, and every time I looked, there was so much resistance. Either it wasn't in the right location, but the price was good, or the price was way beyond what I was ready to take on. And I kept pushing against it. I kept making calls and I kept getting all this resistance. And I said to Spirit, but I really want to do this. And I kept getting signs that it wasn't meant to happen. But I really want to do this. And I kept getting signs that it really isn't time. And I had to lean into trusting that, even though I didn't understand. I really didn't understand why I couldn't have it now, because I want it now. I want to get healing now. I want a bigger space. I want it now. So I had to surrender that. And I said to Spirit, okay, however I'm meant to work, whatever I'm meant to do, I'm okay with it. And I stopped pushing against it. I felt Spirit was getting kind of impatient with me, but I wasn't willing to go against it. I wasn't willing to take a space that wasn't meant for me. And then the world took a pause. I ended up working from home, completely on Zoom, and everything expanded for me. And I was like, oh, I was meant to grow across the planet. I'm doing sessions all over the world now that may not have happened if I would have pushed against it and got a healing center when Spirit was very clear that the time wasn't right. I had to trust it and I had to be patient. And I had to really surrender to what I thought was supposed to happen right now. The other thing is with relationships. Relationships are a big one. We want someone right now. We want someone in our life right now. I've spent some time on my journey single. I can relate to that. I'm ready and I want it now and I want it now. And we ask the universe to send us someone. And we have our lists of requests of what we would like. And fair enough, fair, absolutely. We want someone in our life that's going to bring a lot of sunshine and joy. However, sometimes there's a few factors in that. Either we are not ready for that type of relationship that we're asking for. If we're asking, for someone that's going to love us unconditionally, perhaps we're not loving ourselves unconditionally. So it doesn't line up. Or we're asking, but we're not trusting, and we're seeking something else. And Spirit has talked to me at length about this. And I'll use myself as an example. So let's just say I'm looking for a relationship, and I've made my requests on what really resonates to me in another human being to share my time, my space, and my life with. And then I get tired of waiting. So what I do is I venture out and I decide that doesn't really matter what I truly want, what's best for me, as long as I have a person in my life. And then I start getting the warning signs. I start getting the heads up of this isn't going to work. And I go into resistance. And I make the decision, because we all have choice and free will, 100%. I make the decision to try something that isn't really what I want. And then we sit there and we say, I didn't listen. There were warning signs. This wasn't what I wanted. But I didn't trust. I didn't trust that it just wasn't yet meant to be part of my journey on that time. That perhaps I still have work to do on myself. Perhaps that person that we are wanting to align with is doing their work for themselves. And sometimes there's a whole bunch of learning in between that needs to kind of unfold. And yeah, you're right. We don't always understand that when we want it now. And why? Why not now? But we ask for things that are for our highest good. And that's really important to kind of lean in and say, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust it. In the meantime, I am going to do my best to continue to learn and to grow. I had a choice a couple of years ago to go against what Spirit was showing me with the warning signs, as well as Spirit talking to me about it. I had the choice and free will. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that had I gone ahead, I would have been in big trouble. But that would have been something that I would have had to learn through. But I've learned that a lot. If I go against it, if I don't trust it, it's going to take me the long way around. The journey. It's going to take me the long way around rather than the shortcut, if you will, or the route that's best for you, where the learning is. Where we struggle with doing a lot of our own work as well. And my counsel has talked to me at length about that is we sometimes become very lazy in our own growth. We don't take advantage of the time in between things, while we're in that pause moment. When we were in the pause moment, I decided to expand on Zoom, and I've met people from all over the world. And, I just took my focus into something else very expansive and very positive, rather than go against something or sit in the lack of. If we sit in the lack of something, the lack of what's missing, whether it be physical things or people, when we sit in the lack of, it's really hard to gain momentum to bring in what we truly want. So we have to keep working. We have to keep growing. We have to keep trusting and allowing it to come. Setting our intentions very clear, working and growing through our own stuff, trusting the journey. And it's hard. I know it's hard. I've gone through my own learning on that process, and I've gotten up a few times and dust myself off, and I've said to Spirit, I get it now. It's for my highest good to be patient and to keep growing and to keep learning and to keep my feet moving and to keep expanding and to keep asking. And I'm also very much okay if something's not meant for me on my journey. I have learned that one a lot. If something's not meant for me on my journey, if it's something that I am truly not meant to do, I've learned to be okay with that. And I have some big things in my life that I've had to put down because it's not going to be part of this journey this time around. Trust, patience, Keep your feet moving forward with growing and learning. And take things to your spirit guides. Take things to them and trust them. Magical moments and a huge, tremendous growth happens when we lean into that. And yes, you're right. I can hear some of you. But Lana, it's really tough. Yep, it's really tough. But it does get easier the more you lean into it. The more you lean into that. For me, it's not even, I don't even second guess it. It's just, it is what it is. And I have to keep learning the lessons. And I have to keep trusting that they know what they're doing. Because spirit guides do, and so does our higher self. Sometimes we just know that this isn't right for us. It's our inner being, our higher self, our intuition, always knows. Lean in there. I do hope you enjoyed this video on trust and patience. And as always, I am wishing you so much love, light, blessings, and a spirit guided day.